Welcome back to the Deep Dive, where we really get into the source material so you can be instantly well-informed. Today, we are strapping ourselves into, well, probably the most advanced cinema seat imaginable. We're taking a detailed look at a franchise that completely flipped the zombie genre on its head. Zombie Land Saga.
Yeah, our sources are buzzing with details about the new film, Yumeginga Paradise, and its cinematic debut. But this dive, it isn't just about the plot. We're really zeroing in on the tech side, this promised 40X experience.
That's right. And our mission for you, the listener, is to help you quickly grasp not just, the basic idea of this powerhouse anime, but specifically how these upcoming 40X screenings, they start November 21st, how they're being framed as this huge leap in cinematic storytelling. We need to figure out if this sensory immersion thing is genuinely a game changer or maybe just a flashy gimmick for the fans. Okay, let's start with the hard news first. Yumeginga Paradise is out, lots of excitement. But the real buzz seems to be around November 21st and this 40X rollout. So when we talk 40X for a zombie idol film, this isn't just gentle seat rumbling, is it? What are the sources actually promising here? How intense is this experience supposed to be?
Well, what's really interesting is how they seem to be tailoring the tech to the material. 40X, it's designed to hit more than just sight and sound. It's got motion seat, sure, but also all these atmospheric effects. We're talking water jets, wind, fog, lightning, even scents, apparently.
Right, so it transforms viewing into, a physical thing. But for Zombie Land Saga, it swings between absurd comedy, big action scenes, and these really intense musical numbers. How does the tech actually, match those different vibes?
The sources suggest it's actually quite specific. So when Franchouchou, that's the idol group name, the zombie idols, when they're doing their big high-energy dance numbers, the seats are supposed to use sync and vibration to mimic the rhythm, the power of the stage. So you're not just watching the concert, you're kind of feeling the bass, the impact of the choreography.
Okay, that sounds pretty intense for the performances. But what about the zombie stuff, the chaos?
Yeah. That's where the other effects likely come in. The show's known for these sudden bursts of action, sometimes funny, sometimes kind of gross. And we know the film's got these big battles, mentions of fighting, extraterrestrial foes even, so the motion, the air jets, they'll probably mimic impacts, fast movement, maybe debris flying past, And if you get a dramatic rainy scene or maybe some mist rolls in, you might actually feel a bit of spray from the system.
I do have to ask, though, the sources are calling this a revolutionary experience in cinematic storytelling.
Oh, is it?
Or is it maybe just a really high-tech way to get existing fans back in for another watch? Doesn't focusing so much on the physical stuff risk pulling you out of the story?
That's a fair point. And I think the marketing gives us a clue. They actually put out a whole separate poster just for the Zombie Land Saga, Yumeginga Paradise 40X screenings. It suggests this isn't just an optional extra. They're positioning it as the way to see it. For a story that's built on smashing together the really weird and the really emotional, maybe that physical link enhances the immersion. It forces you to kind of confront the bizarre reality of these undead idols in a way just watching passively can't. It almost turns the cinema into a curated theme park ride focused just on Franchouchou.
So less a tech demo, more like a narrative tool to ramp up that core contrast of the show.
Exactly. The show's core is absurdity grounded in real feeling, right? So maybe the 40X grounds the absurdity in physical sensation. It seems aimed at making sure you feel the stakes, no matter how absolutely ridiculous they might seem on screen.
Okay, let's unpack this then. Feeling the immersion is one thing, but maybe for people new to this or who just know the name, what's the actual story here that gets people so hooked? How do we even get a hit show about zombie idols?
Well, the foundation was laid back in October 2018, and it grabbed attention right away because it wasn't your typical zombie story. The premise, it's kind of simple but also really layered. You have 7 girls living normal lives who suddenly die. Violently, usually. Then, boom, they're resurrected as zombies and immediately pushed into forming an undead idol group, Franchouchou. All orchestrated by this very intense manager whose big plan is to save Japan's Saga Prefecture using idol fame.
It's such a wild concept. But crucially, these aren't shuffling, brainless zombies.
No, not at all. And that's the twist that makes it work. Stops it from just being horror, even though they're, decaying. They keep their personalities. And more importantly, they keep this core human drive. We want to live. They want to be recognized, they want connection, they want purpose back, stuff they lost when they died. That mix of wanting more and literally falling apart gives it this unexpected emotional depth. And that continued in the second season, Revenge, which landed in April 2021.
Right. And this wild idea is backed by some serious talent, isn't it? The animation, the production values are always mentioned. Who actually brought this vision to life?
Yeah, it's a real powerhouse team-up. The sources highlight the partnership between three big names. Studio MAPPA, first off. They're known for huge, high-quality hits like Jujutsu Kaisen, Attack on Titan's final season, so their animation chops are undeniable. Then they teamed up with Avex Pictures, who bring that crucial music and idol industry know-how. And Cygames provided essential creative and financial backing.
Okay, yeah, that mix explains the slick animation and the killer soundtrack.
Yeah.
A collab like that sets a high bar.
Absolutely, and within that structure, you had key people driving it. Minahisa Sakai directed it. He also did work on stuff like Dance Dance Sewer, known for precision. Shigeru Murakoshi handled the script, really nailing that blend of comedy and heart. Kasumi Fukugawa did the character designs, giving them that distinct look. And Yasuhara Takanashi composed the score, which is just fantastic.
Yeah.
So yeah, this wasn't just some quirky side project. It was a massive, coordinated push to do something different, something bold.
It really sounds like this meeting point of top-tier animation, dedicated music production, and a script that's just out there, but smart. And that strong foundation feels pretty necessary to support something as extreme as the 4DX experience we were talking about.
Yeah.
Okay, here's where it gets really interesting for me. The sources keep calling Zombie Land Saga a game changer because it did more than just deliver on that crazy premise.
Yeah.
How does a show manage to successfully juggle, like, jump scares, idle dance routines, bits of historical drama, and genuine emotional connection?
I think the key is how it uses the whole zombie thing. It's not just a horror gimmick, it's like a narrative amplifier. So the episodes aren't just horror or comedy beats. They often function as these surprisingly deep slice-of-life stories. Being zombies forces the characters to deal with regrets, unfinished business, the sheer difficulty of chasing dreams when you're literally falling apart.
That's the core paradox, isn't it? How do you create real emotional stakes when your characters are, well, already dead?
And that paradox is where the writing shines. The real stakes aren't about dying again. They're about finding purpose, finding relevance. Each character, and they're brought to life by an amazing voice cast, Kaede Hondo, Asami Tano, Risa Taneda, Maki Kawase, the legendary Mamoru Miyano as the manager. They all give these zombies such distinct, relatable humanity. They sell this idea that just existing without meaning is maybe worse than being dead. And that makes you connect with their struggle, however absurd the supernatural backdrop is.
So the funny part is the situation, it's, a zombie trying to put on makeup, maybe her eye pops out. But the heart comes from the motivation behind it. She desperately wants to perform one last time.
Exactly. And that collaboration we mentioned ensures that blend feels seamless. When Franchouchou faces a challenge, whether it's just selling concert tickets or, I don't know, fighting off giant alien crabs or something, it feels like it matters because you're invested in their internal journeys, their friendships, not just whether they'll get blown up or decay completely. It's basically an exploration of friendship and perseverance that just happens to feature rapid decomposition.
And tying this back to the 4DX again, it starts to make perfect sense why this format might be ideal for this film. You almost need that physical jolt to appreciate the energy of the idle stuff, but also feel the jarring chaos when their zombie nature crashes into reality. It feels like a franchise that always asks for more than just passive watching.
Yeah, it kind of creates this necessary disorientation, maybe. You're physically getting thrown around by the absurdity of their lives, blurring the lines between the concert hall and whatever battlefield they end up on. It guarantees that whether you're laughing at a joke or mesmerized by a song, you are undeniably physically there with them. Hashtag outro.
So what does this all mean then? We've kind of covered the history, the amazing team behind Zombie Land Saga, that emotional core that makes zombies somehow relatable. And of course, this big technological leap they're promising with the Yumeginga Paradise 4DX screenings starting November 21st. The deep dive definitely confirms this is more than just another movie release. It feels like a high-stakes sensory experiment.
Right. And that experiment with sensory immersion, it really makes you think about where cinema might be heading. Zombie Land Saga works by smashing together things that shouldn't fit zombies and idols. The 4DX screening tries to smash together physical reality motion, weather with a fictional story. If the ultimate goal of any great story is to completely transport you, well, it raises a question, doesn't it? Is the future measure of great storytelling found less in just sharp visuals or amazing sound, and more in the raw ability to make the audience physically feel the film's world, turning watching into, like, active physical participation, something for you to maybe mull over while you wait for November 21st and potentially strap into one of those seats?
That's a perfectly provocative thought to end on. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive. We hope you feel thoroughly informed and maybe braced for your front row seat to the most energetic zombie apocalypse ever put on screen.